friends, it's Tiffany from Tiffany O Studio. I wanted to bring you back into the studio today because I wanted to talk to you about metal camp mugs. And I figured I'd show you a little bit of how I make my metal camp mugs, talk a little bit about the process, and my new actual farmhouse mug line that I just came out with. I thought I'd show you some of it, and I'm really excited about these. So, figured I'd just dive in. So I'm over here by my mug press here. I've done a few videos in the past about this mug press, and this is one of my favorite machines that I use in my business. It's a 5-in-1 mug press. I make all kinds of different products in it, and I think it's a really great addition to my business. Here, this mug press, I have it on the regular mug size, and because we're going to be making a camp mug today, and I'm going to kind of walk you through that process. I have a little bit of a setup here. I have a metal camp mug, and I'll link where I get my stuff from, my equipment and everything below, if you guys want to take that step and get this equipment. The metal camp mugs come in a great box, so it's already packaged for you, and I'll show you that. I've already printed out my image and my phrase. I've done that on the computer. We can do a whole thing on that later if you want more detail on that, or if you have any questions, I can help you with that. That's with my Sawgrass printer for the sublimation. So I got that printed. I've got heat tape and scissors. So I'm going to start, I'm going to turn this on. It beeps when it gets up to temperature, so I always try to turn it on the last minute. So I'll let this come up to temperature. I'm going to go up to 380 degrees with this and let it do its thing. While that's warming up, I'm going to get the mug prepared. So got the mug. I always save the boxes because they're great. I got my image. Now, keep in mind, I mirrored the image. Again, we can talk about those details in another video if you want me to. It's basically backwards, because if you think about it, we're going to put the mug, think about it here, and the image, it goes like this, and you wrap it around. Now, I try to make sure that the handle is even. See how that's a little uneven? So I rotate it just a little and line it up like that. Now, I just remembered I need to get my heat tape first, because that's what you need. Don't make fun of me. I don't have a tape dispenser. I know I need to buy one. It's, I'm just a weirdo. So you don't need a ton of tape. This tape is great. You just do it a little piece like this. I do 2 pieces. I always joke with people, there's room in the budget for tape. So don't skimp on your tape. It's just, it'll cause you more of a headache than anything. So, good sized piece of tape. Again, let's do this. I set this over here for now. I'll show you how to line it up here. You got your image that's mirrored. You line it up. I go all the way up to the lip. And I'll show you, we'll talk about that in a little bit too. I don't do a full bleed just because of the design. You can do a full bleed, but keep in mind, you're never really going to be able to get that handle. So I have a lot of customers that sometimes ask me, can I change the color of the mug to purple? And I'm like, well, I can do a purple band around it, but you're never going to have a purple handle. Or at least I don't have the ability. Maybe someday, I don't know. I'm not that advanced yet. I guess I'm working on it. But anyway, so we've got it wrapped. So you have your image, and I'm using the regular sublimation paper. Again, I don't think I mentioned that before. This is the sublimation process where the ink will transfer into the coating on the mug. This is not just like a regular mug. I had to buy it from my distributor, and I'll link my distributor down below. They're great. And so there's a special coating. I use a special ink with a special printer. That's a sublimation. And then it all kind of blends together when you put it into the heat press. So now our heat press is almost there. It's about at 375 right now. I'm going to press it for 220 seconds. That's our cue. Now, this is probably the most important part of making a metal camp mug. I hear it time and time again. People are like, oh, the ink is fading from the top. I just had a customer. She said she got a mug from somebody else, and the half of the design from the top was faded. So now there's a few different things. I'm not an expert on why that happens, but I think there's a few elements of pressure, how you put it in the mug press, and how tight. So, very important. 220 seconds. I forgot what the math is on how many minutes, because this calculates in seconds. So, second huge thing is that I've noticed is you leave the lip outside of this clamp. So the mug press clamps onto the mug. But if you clamp here, it's gonna be uneven, you know, like the clamp's gonna be like that because of the lip. So I clamp it like this, and I haven't had very many problems doing it that way. So I'll show you. So I put the handle up, slide it in, and it's hard to see. I'll try to turn it. I am leaving the lip outside of the blue clamp. It's very important to do that. Now also, I have a very good amount of pressure on this. It's not light pressure. It's to the point where you're like, ooh, I might break this mug, but don't. But yeah, it's a lot of pressure. So you clamp it, give it good, say it's medium to high pressure, okay? Do not, these mugs will go boop. So then I hit my green button. And it's gonna lower the temperature a little and then go back up and start counting down to 220 seconds. So I'm gonna let that cook for a little bit. Again, a few things, make sure it's clamped nice and tight. Your lip of the silver mug is not inside, it's on the outside. And you just let that do its thing. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to you after this is done and we'll talk about the finished product. Okay, that means it's done. Make sure you grab this with something to protect your hand because it's a piece of metal. That's annoying. It's a piece of metal that it's gonna burn your hand. Metal retains heat. These are aluminum. So we're done. I'm gonna undo the clamp and grab the mug. I'm gonna turn this off so we can talk. And see how you can almost tell it's a little cooked. It's hot. Now, I use an X-Acto knife to get the tape off. I have burned myself too many times. I'm not playing that game anymore. So I just use the X-Acto knife to get the tape off here. So I just slide it. Make sure you don't get the coating on the mug and do not stab yourself like I almost just did. Sometimes this coating can scratch a little, so just be careful. So it's kind of hard to see. This sticky tape is super sticky, so it's doing a good job. All right, so and then I use the X-Acto knife just to lift it. Here's the thing about taking the artwork off. Try to do it in like whoosh, one foul swoop, because there's a thing called ghosting where some of the ink the gas from the ink, the science behind it, is still lingering and it might get trapped between the paper and the mug. And then you've got like a little ghost of an image, and you don't really want that. I mean, you could probably say, oh, it's part of the design, but it's not. So I just kind of grab it and pull it really fast like that. All right, and do it one movement. It takes a little time, it's not that hard. But look at our final product. This says, nevertheless, she persisted, because it's got a picture of these sheep butting heads. I think it's super cute, but it turned out great. So these things are awesome. These are great money makers. They're great. They're really trendy right now. I'm gonna hold one that's not super hot. Like this. I have one with a little cow, and it says, I would rather be with my cows. They're so cute. You can personalize these too. They're a really great personalized product. So that's it. I will link some of the distributors and the products that we're using here. I would love some feedback. Any questions you guys have, feel free to throw it in there. And if you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. I'm gonna keep doing more videos talking about sublimation, my business, whatever really we want to talk about. I'm gonna start just pumping out videos. So thanks for watching today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye.